feeling I've got inside. Let's ride, Angela City. We met on the moon, you were dancing in the dark. Feeling confused, didn't know if it was love in my heart. Called you my bubbly bear, you have such great hugs of love. Didn't make much sense, but I think I got it right. Oh, what a feeling I've got inside. Oh, oh, what a feeling I've got inside. Love and life in Angela City, love and life in the Philippine life. Day after day, something growing in your mind. We met on the moon, you were dancing in the dark from the start. Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love?
I'll figure how to do it. Good morning. Good morning. Look who I woke up.
$1 million.
I was just telling the kid here that we had done a situation on the E-Trike that we needed a couple years ago, and our desktop is going to need to be replaced, and it is costly. Right now, give or take, if you get one decent, we're not talking about like a real cheap one on Lazada. I don't know. They're up there, 50, 60,000 pesos, which that's pretty much what it would be in the United States. Maybe we can get a deal in China for a desktop. We have the laptop. George uses a laptop, but I think the specs on the other laptop just doesn't do the editing, and there's limited power on the one that we have, the other one. So
It's the equivalent of a speak and spell.
like your brain. So, anyways, I was telling George,
ET phone home. ET phone home.
I'm about ready to e-beg for a desktop, so I might get that going so we can get one for our birthday. How about that? And I did tell people in the live stream yesterday when we talked about the digital nomad visa, I mean, that they asked about our birthday, and I said, really, no plans. I said, I was serious about putting a disposable pool out there and doing a barbecue grill and giving away hot dogs to people. I said, but I know how that's going to turn out.
I got it for money raising. We can put a disposable pool out there and I can jump from the balcony.
Why don't you just jump from the balcony?
Hey.
Save money, and we'll just ask for your
it's
direct.
too hot to jumping without a pool. Just saying.
Not really. Can you just try?
Mary. Hi, sweetheart.
Can you just try?
Have you showed Mary her nails?
Oh, well, right now it's about a month. She needs a haircut, so you really can't see her nails, but turn around so people could see her nails got done. Put her up in the camera. See, Mary got her nails did. My damn dog got her nails did, but I couldn't get. Oh, she's doing that now because it's you. Did you show people you got your nails done, baby? I was telling people that we'll reschedule probably in about a week for the cat that they canceled at the veterinarian clinic. They call it Koshcock or something. I forgot how you pronounce it, but if the vet isn't in, a lot of times here in the Philippines, like the vets, they'll go out and do rescues with other agencies, or they do at-home clinics, and we do use the at-home clinic, but the cost kind of doubles, and that would put them in about $100 each, and so we will reschedule. So, anyways.
Yeah. And again, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Always makes Heidi happy. And this show is brought to you by Milky.
I milked George this morning, and all I got was this stupid
Milk
can.
does the body good.
Did mine good, but
just saying.
Oh, it did you good this morning.
Yep.
What's that thing?
Protein.
If you do it once a day, you'll
prevent
live forever.
Prostate cancer.
I am immortal.
Yes.
I am immortal.
Immortality is yours. Prevent prostate cancer. Masturbate every day. Every single minute.
Well, that's what you actually told me when I milked you this morning.
And that's you did, why I always say, sow the seeds of love. Just saying.
Oh, would you like the?
Actually, correction.
We were busy. Yeah, I know. You know that's a no-go zone.
What?
Not this mug. That's all I got is my face. By the way, I know what I want for my birthday. On top of that, I'm just going to be greedy. I'm getting a nose job.
Oh,
And
really?
I'm going. Yes, yes.
Really?
It is
You're
for.
gonna have a rhinoplasty, Philippine style.
Yes, and I'm getting braces. Wouldn't I look silly showing up
Rhinoplasty
with
Filipino style is all they do is place a plastic
disc
thing
in there,
inside
which
you.
is bad business because those tend to rot. The Filipinos have shown where they've had issues and had to have them replaced.
It's like a temp thing.
Well, no, that's not temporary. When they do that, it's more of the permanent side, and the other side of it is what I'm thinking about. It's more of they call it threading and fillers. So basically, I'm doing it because the older I get, my face is sagging, and my nose is fairly flat and wide.
Honey, let's not get into sagging now.
You didn't mind the sagging when they were hitting you in the face. I seen a TikTok the other day where the guy was talking about, I forgot, he does ghetto cooking or something, and he goes, this big girl was on top of me the other day, and she was all up and her boobs and all this stuff, and all that beautiful flesh was all over me. And he goes, and I was smothering. He goes, man, it was wonderful. And I'm like, yep, that's George. It's such a way he said it. But anyways, no, my nose, I'm having a hard time. I'm having really a hard time here in the Philippines with the humidity. And I had to get those nose breathers like the football players do so they can breathe during the games. Look at that.
You need a pango job.
What? Yes, I need a pungong job.
Pango job. Make your nose blunt and flat.
No, I'm trying to open that crap up.
Exactly. Why do you think Filipinos' noses are blunt and flat? Because that's how they breathe.
It's a little different. Mine is not working right now. So I need them to lift like this. I want mine like this so I can,
Well,
I guess I can just get a piece
you
of
can
tape.
just have your nose chopped off like that cat lady.
No, but I am getting one. So that's on my bucket list for my birthday. I'm getting it threaded and fillers, and I'm getting fillers in my face. I'm going to take you in too.
What does your eyebrows have anything to do with your nose?
And I'm getting me some new wigs. See, that's all dangerous around that damn grill, by the way. Because if I put my shit out there, that's what I worried about. The hot dogs are going to get burnt. I'm going to get burnt in the sun. My wigs will get burnt if I'm out in the sun and near that grill. And it's going to be a whole bunch of charred stuff out there. And the only thing that ain't going to char is you.
Oh my gosh. So yesterday I was looking at Timo. Yes, that app.
Timo.
Timo, whatever. And so me and my uncle were talking about barbecues, right? And I was on Timo, and I was like, Uncle, check this out. They have a barbecue for free. And I was like,
no.
And I don't even know why I even bothered. And I was like, they have a barbecue for free. It's 17 centimeters. And I grabbed the frigging tape measure, and I
Oh man.
And I was like, oh my God. I don't even know why I grabbed the tape measure.
How many times have I been taken for that shit?
That's that long. Just so you guys know.
So it's miniature. How many times have I purchased something and then it's arrived and it's like I got these balls. Thought they were bigger when they came out of the package.
They always say they're bigger before they come out.
Like I met George at the bowling alley and I tried to rustle him back
like,
there in the lockers and he wouldn't let
I
me
have
rustle.
a python. And then Heidi was like, that's like a worm.
Anyway, so the balls came out of the package.
Is it in yet? Is it in yet?
Package. So when they came out, they were like this. And I'm like, how is that supposed to?
You can't see that, just so you know. Heidi was like, it's like this. Exactly.
They were teeny tiny. And when they came up out of there, they're supposed to rustle your clothes. And that's because they zoom in on the photo. And I was supposed to put them in there to wash it because we still do some of the laundry here on a weekly basis. And it they were like that little, literally like the size of a grape. And I'm like, I could put 3 of them in the cat's mouth to brush their teeth. I mean, it was really an actual thought. And I'm like, okay. So, anyways, let's get to the topic today. If you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We appreciate people being here and the fans. Thank you so much. Nevermind. Good morning. That is so much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Nevermind.
Someone was asking yesterday about our birthday, and now it does got me thinking, because usually we start planning. We usually plan something during those times, and we have great support from our people. And really, I haven't put, I think I would like to go back down to Longapo. I was telling them, remember them hut places that are on the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Marion. How you say that? Haber. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you.
Thank you so
much. I can maybe get my nails did. Now, I used to have my nails, I used to have them for years. I used to have them done, but the problem became is it hurts, like when you wear them long term. And I think that was as my lupus was getting worse. And every time I'd hit something, I told George, you go to pick something up, your nails hurt. And they weren't infected. It just gets painful having the nails on. And then I just used to start, I start doing my own nails and just painting them. But I don't know. I was telling them, remember the places down in Olongapo. It was right before we get to Subic. Subic, there was the ones on the beach, the 3-4 huts that the one company owns, or I think it's a private. And literally, I don't know, they're fairly inexpensive, 60, 70 a night, but there's not a whole lot of amenities. There's really, you can't order in, you can't do that. So I said we'd pretty much have to bring our own stuff, but the beach was literally right there. And we can take Mary, but it'd have to be like a less than a 2-day trip. We can load the cats down with water and all that. I don't know how much the cat box is going to last, where they're not like peeing on the beds or something. Joke. But you do. I was telling we clean it several times a day, twice in the morning and at night. But
I can do your nails Japanese stuff, World War II Japanese stuff.
You're going to rub charcoal on it?
No, what it is World War II Japanese style. What the Japanese did to the Filipinos is they pulled out their nails. No, I'm not joking.
I do have a joke for you about Anne Frank and Santa Claus. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What's the difference between Anne Frank and Santa Claus?
Well, the difference between Anne Frank and Santa Claus is the
don't
way...
you say,
Okay.
Snap, I can't believe you know that one, but I just
Of course
heard it
I do.
myself. It's not that I can't say that on air.
Well, actually,
No, it's the way they, I can't.
all right. Hey, Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support.
So we'll be planning towards our birthday, and I'll try to get George to come on the live streams more. We kind of had it out the other day, and I'm like, really, this channel was with you. I've been doing more because he's been working, as not that it's bringing a ton more income. He's just working on different projects, and his gaming channel is more for fun. And he's been tinkering with some books and writing books and coming up with lyrics for music. And between all of that, I'm like, you need to appear more. So it's just where it is. But today, guys, we're going to talk about, does the pros and cons, does one cancel out the other? And as much as we've discussed it, there's a lot of bad days. There are things that George is like, what the F? I mean, we could be out and about doing something, and I'll just say, them's your people, man. What you talking about?
What?
And when we were in America, that's what he said to me. Get over it. Those are your people. And I'm like, what? So it's when, it's, do the pros, outweigh the cons. We'll just basically just be going through all types of topics. And I just noticed I never even changed up the colors on them.
Speaking of gaming, guys, just real quick. World Championship, Call of Duty, just so you guys know. Too many crickets. That's like kindergarten versus 6th graders. Just saying. This is like light years apart. Jesus. many crickets.
I'll address you right now, Boomer. We don't. Okay, we do get AI to do they play the instruments, but we command the artists, we command what type of instruments. We don't randomly just let them do that. So our music is not just written by AI. And if you ask AI to write your music, if you notice, most of it's the same. I noticed a long time ago when we had somebody create music about our channel, it was really great. We thought it was awesome. We're like, hey, we can do this creation. So we have multiple softwares, okay, that do it. And we have one that isn't even AI. Those lyrics you hear in our music was handwritten line for line from us. What's wrong?
Huh?
Yeah, you're having me hold.
No.
But when you do, they create the same thing. It's the same, like if you ask them to write a song about the Philippines, it'll come in, it'll say almost the exact same words in every song. Those are not AI written songs that we have. Those are written by me and they're written by George. And we don't let them go in and say what type of music or auto create. We tell them that we want at this at this key and which instruments. We take the time to do all that. The only thing we don't do, which is no different than most of the artists that are out there, is we did not sing those songs. Those are sung by AI. Okay. And I can sing, by the way. All those songs I can sing. And so the music is still created music. So what are you thinking about?
Oh, I mean, no. When Heidi said she can sing, no, she can sing. I was just wondering why. Well, it's not why. It's the question of recording a studio quality recording with her voice and then incorporating it with the music is the issue.
Hi, Jen.
That I was just thinking that it's not a big deal. I'm just saying that when Heidi asked like what are you thinking? I'm just answering. No, it's like
It's kind
because
of like when
well, what I'm saying is, it's not as easy as people think that you can just like right now. Can I just let's say first off, guys, I can't sing.
well, I challenge
Well,
people to go do it.
well, that's exactly my point. If let's say right now, even with this professional mic, even with this professional soundboard, I can't point show the soundboard, but it's still not gonna come out studio quality, and that's what I was thinking. Okay, you guys get my drift. It's not like that easy. I mean,
Very
but
few artists these days will play an actual instrument. Most of it is done by other situations. And when it's recorded in the studio these days, most of the instruments are done through AI and all of this. And 90% of them are auto-tuned this day. All of them. Taylor Swift, everybody, Beyonce, everybody is. And when you especially hear rappers, it is all done through AI and other,
well, the newer
automated,
generation
right.
rappers anyway.
Well,
The older
yes.
generation were
Well,
real,
back
obviously.
then, but now
Yeah.
even the older ones are
You know.
using all that stuff, like the
Shoot.
recent
Oh,
stuff
I'm just
from
saying, like
Snoop.
even
It's
Vanilla,
all
at least Vanilla
studio.
Ice was still pretty much
Well, that was
legit.
back then, but
No.
anybody
I'm just
producing
saying, yeah.
anything in the last 5 to 10
Yeah.
years. But either way, we did write the lyrics on our music. So only the original one that was done by Music to Motion is the one that actually
Yeah.
did
I mean,
that
shoot,
for us.
Nickelback
Much
even
appreciated.
did real.
Yeah, so there's several that we use, but yes, the lyrics, the thoughts, the processes, and when we do go through and produce, we choose those songs. So believe me, for every song that we put out with the lyrics, there's some really crappy stuff that gets thrown back at us or that gets created and we're like, okay, let's add a violin or let's have it all this instrument and add this and add a Middle Eastern sound or do Spanish. So it makes a difference. You have to kind of know music to actually produce these. And yes, I'm appreciative
And
that it makes
speaking,
it
yeah,
easier. It just makes it where it's variety and it 100% beats getting hit. These days, if you pay $25 a month to have music that you can use on your YouTube channel, you can still get hit by copyright. And we were getting hit by
and I
copyright.
was gonna say that
And now they
again.
can't.
Honestly, anybody who knows real music, and I say mean real music, there really shouldn't be a copyright on music because there's only a limited number of combination of notes
Do
that
you
you can
CB?
do.
CBGB. That just gives you away, right? because a troll came through the other day and mentioned Susan Boyle, and he's coming through saying he has Susan Boyle's music on. Somebody
Blu-ray?
come through and tried to throw a total insult about me being.
Did they really come out with that?
What's that?
Susan
Oh, I'm
Boyle's
sure they
music on
did.
Blu-ray?
But I mean, that can't be coincidence, CBGB. Not at all. So, I mean, why randomly mention her? So, anyways, we'll just go through the comments and we will discuss that. Let's see. Okay. Is your music on this channel? Okay, so you must be new. I will go and listen. The answer is yes. If you would look at our channel, we're an official artist music channel now. The check should be coming eventually. That's why it shows releases now on our channel. So our music is officially on YouTube itself. It's on in YouTube Music. We're in Amazon. We're actually in, there's a bunch of them. Tidal, there's like 20, 30 companies right now. So, but for the most part, in the About Us, you can actually see the listings for it. So, Amazon, who else did I say? Spotify. If you're on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, you're allowed to use the music. So, if you type in Philippine Antics, if you're creating a video or you're forwarding a video, you can use our music too. So, now it's official. So,
Yeah.
hey, what's up? So it's there. It's the whole channel speaks of the music. So probably for about a year we've been dropping our own music. So
What the heck?
I was starting to tell you, hold on, there's a delivery.
But I thought they're after lunch.
He's been coming the last few. Ask him what the COD is. So I'm sure there is. How much?
200.
Just count it out of there. There it is. So got the delivery. I'm assuming we're starting from the top. What is going on? Hey, MB Pablo. I don't think he went through these. I wasn't paying attention. I'm wound up on coffee today. What's up? Yeah, wonder why. Interesting. Go ahead and open that up and see what that is.
It's like a box.
It's like a box. What's up? Smile and be happy. Hey, what's going on, Grammys?
Okay, why?
I told you. It's not. It's the strips to open up my nose. You thought I was joking about that. Literally, it feels like my nose is closing in. It needs to be opened up. And it does make a difference. The older you get, your face starts sagging in. And I never had a problem before. I don't have sleep apnea. It just feels like my nose is not getting enough air sometimes.
Hi,
it's
Grammy.
not happening. So I got the nasal strips because I'm always clogged up. I don't think it has anything to do with cats. We've got an air purifier. I told you that's what you thought I was joking. They do work, by the way. Why do you think football players use it? So, and you're always, you snore too, so those will probably help. More, I've got them for you.
No, I don't. I don't hear myself snore.
No, you don't. Hey, George, can you hand me a sock so I can put these coins in there?
Is that a Jersey thing? Yoezy.
No.
Yoezy.
All right. So are you?
No, I don't know if you want me to go through.
I already did. Keep scrolling. I already went through some of them.
Oh, you went
all
all
right.
the way down there?
No, I didn't.
You were to Grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're off today. I already
Andy,
said hello to these people.
Well,
I said we were down Grandma, so why are you starting at the top? Yeah, we're at Pablo again, or Victor, I guess. That's who I was at last. You said hello from Michigan.
Oh. Hey,
Next.
Pablo Chicano, how you doing? Victor C. Hi, George. Adam Zah. Hello, Heidi and George. Happy to see you.
Hey, what's going on?
What's new, Heidi? Hi.
What is going on?
Hey, Harry.
Honestly,
Harry.
this wig looks better on me than it did for you with Ricky.
Hey,
We
Heidi
tried it on
George.
Ricky, it didn't work, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going blonde
Yeah,
today.
Ted Scott. Sarah Noel from
Hey,
Warmer Deer Park, New York.
hey, good morning.
Small Beehive says speak and spell. I remember that electronic, right?
The original AI.
Actually, I won when I was a little kid a speak and spell and a speak and read. No, I was always called the lucky one. I used to win a lot of raffles. Those are one of the few things I did win when I was a kid. Speak and spell and speak and read.
Remember when we spoke to AI this morning? I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it when we asked them who we were. And then they said that Philippine Antics was who? A guy named Richard, a British
Ricky.
guy.
A guy named Ricky.
It did say Richard, didn't it? A
Yeah.
British guy, though. I was like, so I corrected him. He goes, "You are correct. It is a female expat."
Oh, fact that again, proof that AI does lie. No,
Let's
it
see.
does. It does. Slick Rick says San Francisco. Good morning, Heidi and George from San Francisco.
Good morning.
Aaron Doggy Fool, Betty Davis.
Good morning. Let's see if it'll.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Can you tell me more about Philippine Antics YouTube?
Philippine Antics is a YouTube channel that focuses on life in the Philippines, particularly for foreigners. It covers a wide range of topics, including the cost of living, dating, relationships, and cultural differences. The channel is hosted by an American woman who has been living in the Philippines for several years. Her husband, George, who is Filipino, sometimes appears in the videos as well. Would you like to know more about a
Hello.
Well, they focus on the experiences of Americans living in the Philippines. So you'll find videos about dating, relationships, and cultural differences between Americans.
That is hilarious. Okay. Correction. Okay. We have over almost 1,200 videos, and he does appear in almost all of them. That was weird.
Okay, I understand. You're trying to decide between focusing your YouTube channel on the Kardashians, Taylor Swift, or Donald Trump, and you want to know which topic would be most profitable. All three of those options have the potential to attract a large audience, but they also come with their own set of challenges. Channels
Okay.
focused on celebrities.
Okay. Those channels are quite interesting. Can you tell us about the weather today in the Philippines?
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a hot and humid day across most of the Philippines. Expect temperatures in the low 30s Celsius, with a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon.
You are way off today. It's going to be close to 42 in most of the Philippines. He said in the low 30s. Where's he at? So, okay. So, all right. I will talk to you later. That is odd. Everything was way off.
Don't believe everything AI tells you.
We mentioned that
I've
before.
been telling you guys that.
We were asking him for a correction, and then he throws us the most popular topics on YouTube: the Kardashians, Donald Trump, Taylor Swift. And then they said, and then that was kind of odd.
According to AI, again, it doesn't lie. It just tells you untruths, which is technically the same thing. But anyway,
1,200 videos. You probably haven't appeared in 20
do not
of
rely
them.
on AI.
Total. I mean, how many videos do you think you've missed as far as you not being in them? Live streams probably 20 or less. It's just odd.
No, I would say about the lately it's a 50% lately, and that's even lately.
Well,
that's not even 100.
Well, when I've done topics, yes. When I've done individual
it's rare
stuff,
that I'm not here. No, yeah.
Well, that's understandable because it's focused on expats and it's me that appears, so makes sense too. But it's not, yeah. So that's odd.
No, it numerically wise. That's inaccurate. Correct. Anyway.
But he does know who we are, so there it is. Dun dun dun.
And Kelano says, "When's your birthday?"
In July. Both of our birthdays are the first 2 weeks of July.
Ooh,
Give or
Ted
take.
says I have 2 sinus surgeries and still need to breathe right.
No, it just seems like I've noticed like the bone structure around my mouth, face is starting to go in. Probably the only reason it's puffed right now is really because of the steroids and stuff. There's been a significant difference um, since I've taken steroids over the last probably straight for about a year. And so, but besides that, I've just been having more issues. And then I start thinking about my nose and I'm like, no, wait a minute. They do surgeries to help that stuff. And I don't have sleep apnea. That's been checked over the years. So I know that's not the issue. It just seems like in the Philippines, you're always clogged and stuffed in the humidity. And when I do that, and use the nasal strips, I breathe much better. And I'm like, it can be done permanently. And that may be with the fillers. They call it threading and fillers. Not looking forward to the procedure. And they're probably going to laugh at me, but it would be more where it's medically necessary than, and it is what some of those procedures are for. Probably got a little Botox in my lips. That way I can kiss George's ass a little closer.
Right. Marion Haber. Hello, guys. Hey, Marion. CBGB says Oscar Mayer's cocktail sausages. Ted says you don't want your balls wrestling your clothes. Trust me, Heidi.
Right? That's what happened
Ace.
this morning with my nightgown.
There you go. Scott and Isa's World. Hello, everyone. Hey,
Hi,
Scott.
good morning.
Like Spot. Hello, Antic Fanatics. Happy Monday from Nosy Orange County. Sorry, I had to think about that.
Orange County.
Yeah, there's that orange to verify. Yes.
9-inch nails.
CBGB says 9-inch nails. Right. Suckrick says, oh, okay. Another about Waymo's is that when I dive around them, I trust them more than human drivers. Mainly because they aren't going to do anything stupid like some human drivers.
Yeah, you don't have the context to the others.
Pablo Chan says Bataan Death March. This was referring to the World War II comment.
Gotcha.
CBGB says Santa Claus. Pablo Chan. Hey George, did you know my mother was a child living in Manila during World War II? That's interesting. And that's very feasible, yes. It's feasible.
What years were that?
Well, I mean, the war was in 1942 to 1945, so yes, it's still very feasible.
That should be.
That would
your
put
parents
Pablo
would be
Chicano a little way older than us. But then again, most of our
my
viewers
dad was born, 1944.
most of our viewers,
but
correct.
that means.
Well,
so then she would really, yes. I mean, she must be near 90 or something. Right. My dad's near, so in mid 80s. So yeah. So yeah, put him probably in his 60s or so.
Pablo Chicano, she's Spanish.
Gotcha.
Oh, so that's how
she's
original. Spanish. So that's right after the Spanish Civil War, then.
So she speaks what, Giovanna, or what do you call that? Because there's a different language.
No, she's Spanish and Chavacano are two different things.
Oh, well, what do they speak here? I know there are some that do speak.
It's Chavacano, but it has nothing to do with Spanish.
Oh.
No, the Spanish race has nothing to do with Spanish race, other than it's like a Philippine version of Spanish.
I hope these things work, man.
Remember, Spanish is not what people think. There's a Filipino version of Spanish, which is Chavacano, and there's a Puerto Rican version of Spanish, and there's, every Hispanic country has their own version of Spanish. The proper Spanish is called Castellano, and that's proper Spanish. Anyway, Overture says, good morning, guys. Good topic.
Hey,
Jen says, hi, George and Heidi. Hope your day is amazing.
Thank you. I was just teasing. I was showing an excuse for him to be on more, which I didn't catch that. Because I'm not sure. No, I mean, we're not going to not do the channel, and I've been doing, I'm still going to continue the channel when he's sleeping in. We just decided we're going to take our feet out of the water because me and George had this full discussion the other day. If you look at the 20, 30 channels around us, they've made it a full-time job. I'm going to tell you that right now. We've noticed that some, and I'll mention the channel, we don't disapprove of the channel, Mike's Philippine Retirement. We know some of you guys watch. We've watched his channel. He's literally taken on several channels and just did a topic the other day about, is he now working full time? And the answer is yes. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what level you're at. At the level he's at, that means he's working full time. He's doing his coffee top channel, and he's putting out content on that. He does his live streams. He puts out a daily video. And they've got a rental property thing. So I don't know if that's her out doing that, but I know he helps produce that. I know she does a channel. That means they're working back to full time again. And I thought he was coming here to retire, and he ended up starting a YouTube channel, about 2 years ago. And he's in that community of Dumageddon. It's the same with Paul. These are all starting to become full-time jobs, and it just kind of makes you wonder. And so my point right now is we didn't come here to sit there. At one point, me and George was both doing a live stream, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, about a year ago.
Something like that.
Yeah. And we were doing a video every day. And it's just like, I was like, no, it got to be a lot of work for George. And it's, we didn't come here to do that all the time. So then we laid up. So if George wants to sleep in, I don't even bother him. He gets cranky. I get cranky when he gets cranky, and we're not going to have it consume our life. We've also noticed that other YouTube channels all over the world, they're going crazy. We discussed that, the way they're running their channel, the excessive money and equipment they're using. And most of them are making little to no money. And we're just not going to get into spending tons, that kind of money and stuff. Yeah, the individual scripts I've seen.
Yeah, Victoria says, good morning, Heidi and George and Philippine Antics crew.
Good
Heidi,
morning.
love the new do, makes you look younger. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I got to hold my cap down.
Victor C, Luis Antonio
I gotta do
Tego
stuff.
for the election for Pope. There you go.
Yeah, that is very interesting. What do you think about him becoming Pope?
Eh.
That'd be freaking awesome, huh?
I mean, does it change anything in
The retrospect.
on anything, on anybody, on any political or any economical level? No. So, yeah.
I'm just making small chat.
No. I'm just being
Because yeah, when you think
I'm just
about
being
it,
honest here. I'm not.
no,
being
that's just
mean
us.
Or being,
Well, in
I'm just saying,
retrospect,
like,
what does a pope really do?
in
that
the end, does
changes
it
the
actually
world?
affect anything? No.
That's what I mean. What does a pope really do except for let people kiss his ring?
I mean,
Did you see where that pope, when I don't know how long ago it was, a woman tried to reach out to him, and I guess she officially touched him. He actually snatched her off of him and pushed her and stuff. And I was like, I get it too, why he would actually do that. But
well, okay. First off, I'm not anti-papacy. There's nothing wrong with religion. I'm actually very religious. Actually, just had like 2 rosaries blessed and all of that. But in the end, you have to remember that he is just a man.
that's what you said this morning when you were finished.
Well,
I'm
that's
just a man.
that's different. In bed, I'm a god. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Look
But
at him smile.
but no, I'm joking. But you guys get my point. I mean, with all due respect to the papacy and to all,
What did you name that motorboat?
right? I used to own a boat. Okay, it's a small boat, and it's
I'm
called.
not talking about that small motorboat that was on this
Oh,
morning.
okay, that's a different one. But anyway, point being is I'm not anti-papacy, but again,
Mary.
he is still just a man, regardless of how you think or what
Oh,
your
never
belief is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and in the end, does he actually change the world? No, I hate to say this. There's nothing wrong with Catholicism. I'm a very
So
deep
he's more of a
Catholic.
symbolism.
Right. In to those people,
You mean kind of like the
yes.
president of the United States and others are running the country?
In God we trust, and in the Pope we trust. That kind of deal.
I think it's more of a what do you call that? Like I said, it's more of what's been done, like all the stuff of sealing his coffin and sealing off his room and the whole. It's kind of like the monarchy. It's just something.
Correct. Thank you. You did say that. Yes, I was gonna go
It's a
there
religion
too.
monarchy.
Right. Correct. It's same. I was gonna bring up the monarchy. It's like the monarchy.
Can I ask you why there's never been a Pope of color before? I thought about that. That was a deep thought for me the other day, without crossing any
I
lines.
could have sworn there was.
No.
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 But anyway,
That's why I was curious about the new Asian one, because they said it was more of an inclusion, like he, got to spend a lot of time with more Asian.
well,
What do they call
most
those
popes
dudes?
I thought were Italians. I thought.
No, this last one was not.
No, I didn't say the last one.
He was Latin. And they said previous to that, yeah, they haven't always been. I thought so too, but no, I guess there's not. But so in saying that, when I realized, wait a minute, that wasn't a qualification. Not that it. I was like, I just noticed that
But it's
place
for an
was all that was
Italian
all
is
Cracker
Latin.
City. Nah, it was
No.
Cracker City up in that place. I'm just saying, guys, things and thoughts that go through Heidi's head, besides cats and George and pizza and
Yeah.
his funeral.
Right.
No, I've learned, just like, what's going on with the presidency in the United States. I really never actually paid attention to a lot of that stuff. And now officially, being there's a lot of craziness, it's, with the different policies and everything. And they have been deporting the children. That's not a rumor. The guy that does all that border czar stuff said, yeah, if we find out that the mothers took a chance and had their kids here in the United States, we are deporting those kids. So they are officially deporting kids now. And I'm like, what the heck? So it's kind of, but anyways, that's beside the case. But yeah, I didn't realize. I thought they all lived in that area, all came from the, but that tells you, I guess, little mind, maybe. I don't, but I guess with the internet, you broaden your mind, and with all the, stuff that you get to see, good and bad about the internet. I guess we can get into the topic is probably best. I don't know how much if we said our hellos. We said hi to Victoria. Pine Eddie is in the house. Leonard. John Ryder is in the house. Hello. Okay, so basically today we were just going to discuss the pros. Do they really outweigh the cons of being here? And believe me, I really put the hurt on George when we moved here. I still complain about stuff. I think that's just, the white girl in me and the Westerner here, damn, it's hot. By the way, I pulled a trick on the driver yesterday. I went out to go get the package, and it was extremely hot yesterday. And he said, "Oh, it's hot." And I said, "Really?" I said, "No." I said, "It's really a nice day." I said, "It's not that hot today." And the look on his face, if looks could kill, especially with my size and being a Western woman, I just said, "No, not really." And so I just took the package and left. But he's like, you know how you get the Filipino? Okay, it's not hot. But that's what George would do to me. So the things that 4 years ago that extremely bother me, that almost sent me home. I'm telling you what, if the country wasn't locked down, I probably would have went back right away. We still had money in the bank. Matter of fact, we still had quite a bit of money in the bank. I would have went back, but I wanted to give it time. I was being stubborn. My family says, "Oh, you'll be back in 6 months." I knew I had to get past the 6 months. That's for sure. And there was just so much in me. Plus, we had sold, gotten rid of things. We had rehomed pets then. When we spent the 6 months in Mexico, same thing. We furnished a whole house because most of it was empty, and I wanted my creature comforts. And so when we had went, okay, when we had went from there, I was still missing a lot of stuff, and it was hard for me to adjust. I was like, "There's no hot water." Even in Mexico, there still wasn't hot water. So there's a lot of things that I had to adjust to. And the weather was going to be one that was really just, I couldn't take it. Skin breaking out and prickly heat rash, the sweating all the time, and there was a lot of things actually going on here. Let me still seem to be put you more in the shot here. And so as of right now, I can say yes, because it's only been the cost has gone up the last couple years, but it's extremely gone up the last 2 years. cost alone will keep me here. You know, that's just where it is going to be. So for me, the pros are outweighing the cons. Now, if the dollar flips, and I guess even recently it's dropped again, if the dollar just totally tanks down to 40 pesos and we're paying an extra $100 for rent with this type of infrastructure and the groceries keep going up and the out cost or going up, which it is. In the Philippines, it is still going up like anywhere in the world. Then I might have some sort of different outlook. The moment things become expensive here, that takes away more than 75% of the reason I'm here, besides George. So, I mean, how do you feel about that if the costs start flipping and it drops down to 30 pesos a dollar? And this starts costing us 500 a month or something. I mean, that's going to be a problem for me. The infrastructure.
Well, I mean, you do have to realize if it goes that bad, it's probably worse in the United States.
Yeah, but I would rather sit up in Ohio somewhere or cooler weather and all the other things that I miss versus, and then I could get a job. I'll drop my disability if I had to.
If you can get a job.
Well, if, I mean, that's a big if. But here I couldn't. If all else fails and push comes to shove, you can do something. I can't do that here.
Oh yeah, speaking of getting a job, again, if you're thinking of getting a job here in the Philippines or in Asia, forget it. Actually, in the Philippines, once you hit the age of 30, you're practically no longer eligible to get a job. In China, it's 35. At the age of 35, you're
That's true.
practically
We're over 50.
not eligible to get a job anymore. What I'm saying is,
But we would have a
can you
better
get a
chance.
job after 30? It's possible, but it's unlikely.
Right, but we would have a better shot to be back in the US if a lot of things start to turn. Not that I think it'll ever get like that. Well,
Well,
actually,
you have to remember too, the time we were there is the time we were there, and we're
well,
not
that's
talking about
true.
now.
No, that's true.
It's kind of like right now, again, China, good luck getting a job. Same thing in the Philippines, good luck getting a job. And I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about Heidi. I'm talking about everybody else. They're struggling to have their college graduates, and they're having a hard time
Oh,
finding
that's
a
true.
job.
There was another job I seen the other day that was a basic salesperson and it required college. I said, you got to be kidding
No,
me.
most of the
Without a
jobs
college
require
degree, you're
college
going to get paid
degrees, period.
15,000 pesos a
Yes.
month.
In fact, like
And our electric was 11.
janitors here are college graduates for the most part.
Speaking of which, on the electric bill, we never did get the refund. I was telling people in the last live stream, not the one about the what, but the one before that, that we had an issue. That is another pro and con situation. Until just recently, paying bills itself, some you can do online, but there's something going on here in the Philippines. We've noticed that if you don't pay your bill Monday through Friday during business hours, they've got glitchy systems. We don't know if it's on their end, their servers are having an issue, whether it's paying through the bank and different things. But like we have Pelco 2 here that only covers Mavalacat, and they seem to have a limited system in where you can pay. And if you go, Ruby said to go to the other office. She said there, I forgot what the second one is. I wrote it down somewhere, but she said there's a second office where she said there's only a 10-minute wait or something. She goes, there's hardly, or 5-minute or straight in or something. It was in a, it seemed to be listed under a subdivision or something. But she said there was a second location. Well, turns out to be we paid online. We've been paying online for like 6 months, and they took the money, and it was a high electric bill. And I did find out that dropping that to 25 did cause the extensive cost. It does. Changing that number, I had to look it up online. I did find out it does. And because it's struggling to keep the house cooler with it hot. So it was a combination. We were both right. The electric bill is 11,000 pesos. And so it went up by, I think, like $80. And so we paid it and they didn't apply the money. So now they're telling us that, yes, we took your money. We had to prove that it was done by the bank. They said the bank needs to refund you. We said, no, you took the money. Oh, yes, we have the money. It did not go to the electric. It bounced. And I said, okay, so when are you going to refund? They don't know when. So someday they're going to give us back 11,000 pesos. The average person here makes, even at call centers, even if they're making 20,000 pesos a month or 30,000, imagine 30,000, which would be a really good job here. Really good. We're talking bank manager salary, paying an 11,000 peso electric bill, and then they kept it. And so now they're telling us, oh, we're really working on that. They've been saying that for a week. So if you're making 30,000, that's manager money here at 30,000 pesos. And I told the guy, I was like, dude, I said, do you have 11,000 pesos to double pay your electric bill? I said, it's due by Thursday, and they have zero concern. They look at you blankly. And so my problem here are the issues like that. I mean, you're going to get bad service anywhere, but I have found it more here that people are very passive about fixing problems, the out of stock, the customer service, and you've run into issues too. Are you pleading the fifth on these?
No, it's not that.
Yeah. So, anyways, the bill's unpaid. So now we manually have to go pay it a second time to make sure we don't lose our electric. And do you remember how long can you guys tell me how long of a grace period they give you for the electric bills now in the United States or where you live? Usually it was a few weeks. How long was the grace periods when you go to pay electric bill? It wasn't due within 7 to 10 days like we've run into.
Because Warren, was like a couple of months. It was
Oh,
longer
yeah.
than 2 weeks.
No, I think if you don't pay it, if the bill comes in, it's usually a few weeks later. But it was never here. Literally, it's you have the bill, but it's 10 days. It comes in, the bill comes in on the 24th, 25th, or 26th.
We're talking
And
about
then
the
it
US,
tells
guys.
you, no, I'm talking about here. It's the 24th, 25th, or 26th. And then it's due by the 1st or 2nd, no later than.
Here is, yes.
Yeah.
You have 10 days, but in the US, I
doesn't.
remember they don't shut it off till a month or two. Give you a long but time.
We have a split con, Leonard, but we run it 24/7. And in certain areas, it's probably even more if you live in Manila. Electricity is either from certain areas way lower or way higher. The windows are sealed. We AC the entire downstairs. Oh, thank you so much, Linda. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That we've been doing it. But here's the thing. We used to have 10 and 11,000 peso bill when we lived at the other place, and we had a standalone unit, and we did it for half of a day. Like I think we do it from 6 at night till 6 in the morning. We would edit and it's one room. Here it's the entire downstairs because the windows are sealed off. And it jumped because I changed it's been hotter. It's been anywhere between 98 to 100 with humidity. And we went from 26 to 25. It did. The bill jumped 80. But this is the hottest year we've ever had. So we've heard people with way bigger bills because they do like their kids' room and their room, and some just turn on multiple units. Some run multiple units and they pay the same amount. I have no idea why. Every area is going to be different. I'm telling you, it seems like per section, whether it's Pelco 2 and I don't know. I don't know what the big difference is, why it makes that much difference. We've heard people, they claim they run an entire house on split units and they pay 4,000 pesos. I don't know why. But I tell you this, the proven fact is Southeast Asia, the Philippines pays the highest electric bills. 100% doesn't matter where it is. Electricity is dirt cheap in all the other Asian countries. So it's the one thing, it's a con for me because we've always paid more in electricity than we have rent. And I'm now just getting to that point of a pro and con where I'm living in peso mentality. So when I see something like they're not going to apply the 11,000, and I actually asked them to give us a credit. The company has a e-wallet. I said, why won't you give us the money in an e-wallet? It never even crossed their mind. They said, nope, we have to give you a refund back to, back to the bank. And I said, but you have the money. Can you not apply it? Like have a manager? Nope. And their repeat answer is, we're refunding you. Okay, well, when are you going to refund? Oh, we haven't done it yet. We're working on it. So it's not even been done. Once it's refunded, we're looking here in the Philippines, it could take a week. Like when we get money through, we do buy me a coffee. And when the money comes into us, it takes a week to transfer it. So sometimes it's a little sooner. So I got to sneeze. Not soon enough.
Why did it?
I'm not sure.
It blanked out.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Oh, anyway.
That was weird.
So just real quick again.
Blow my wig.
So no, this makes sense.
It actually didn't do it. Check it out. Wait, you just missed it. The glitch. It didn't black out.
Yeah. No, this makes sense. Marion says, however, says it's 5 days now here. Before they shut off your electricity. Here in Arkansas, it's 5 days before they shut it off. Angelo says 60 days in Canada.
Well, I'm talking about from the day you receive your bill to pay it. Now, when we don't pay
but
it,
somebody did say, like a spot says, around 2 months or so for Southern California Edison electricity. Now, she was specific. Southern California Edison electricity. That's right. I forgot. Even in our area, there are different electric companies.
Yeah, there's
right. So yeah,
Mavalocket for almost all the areas of Cocoa.
Even in the U.S.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
even in Florida, there's
FPL is 2 months. Florida Power and Electric is 2 months.
Yeah. Well, they don't give you, and I don't blame them. But the one thing that blows my mind is, like George said, we paid almost 800 pesos because, like he said, it's to pay for people that are stealing electricity in this neighborhood. And I'm like, are you serious? People in our neighborhood and he's like, yeah. And it makes you wonder. I mean, where are they splicing in?
Well, okay. I'm pretty sure even in the U.S. people do steal electricity.
Of course.
It's not that hard, guys. All you need are called jumpers. I'm not going to get into detail how to do it, obviously for obvious reasons, and especially YouTube and all that. But anyway, point being is it's not that hard, and a lot of people do it. It's the same way as stealing cable. It's really not that hard, and people do it. Point being, don't be surprised. And it is on your electric bill here in the Philippines anyway. I haven't really looked in the U.S., but here in the Philippines, yes, they do charge.
Well, I can see why, because when we first started, I pretty much bitched at George every day. And remember, I was like, oh my God, if I run the microwave, I was afraid to use anything because our first bill was over $200. And I said, Christ's sake, George, I said, and we weren't using like anything. Like it was only, I would sweat all day and go without AC with medical conditions. And I really needed AC in the whole house. I didn't imagine that it would cost several $100s to AC an entire house, but that's almost an impossible here without paying out the ass. And so we barely used the microwave. We were barely with any electronics in the beginning. And I'm like, a $200 electric bill. And he's like, and so it was really rough. We were hardly running anything. So then I was like, oh, let's make sure we keep the fans off, or we make sure we do this, or make sure we do that. And now I just use whatever. And it's still at a certain cost. We were doing really good. We were at less than 4,500 just a month or so ago, or two. I think the highest bill we had recently, we had a 7,000, a 6. I had the numbers in front of me the other day. And so I'm okay with 150, but that's almost as much as our rent right now.
Yeah, that's because of, for obviously it's hot and all that. But for those of you wondering, why would they charge this? For example, in our area, they're charging us almost 1,000 pesos to pay for other people stealing electricity. And the reason why they're charging us is that way we would rat them out. You know what I'm saying? Because Filipinos don't want to pay that extra 1,000. I mean, I don't want to pay that extra 1,000. So what I'm saying is, if you knew who it was, you have a higher propensity of reporting them. And that's why they do it. Well, here's
the thing. It's based on your bill. So we're paying way higher because we use more electricity. They should be doing 200 across the board to everybody in the neighborhood. That's the messed up part. Huh? They don't charge somebody 800 based on a $3,000 electric bill.
No. That's That's
I'll
flat.
double check.
That's flat rate. You're talking about just the theft, electricity
It
theft.
changes every month. Yes, that fluctuates
Yes,
based on
that
usage.
changes, not because of our usage.
Oh, okay.
It's according to how much the people steal.
So you're telling me on somebody that has a $2,400 bill because most of them don't run AC, they're charging them 800. They're going to see that on the side.
Yeah.
Huh.
That way you rat them out.
Well, we thought that was going on when we first moved in because we barely had anything and we were barely running our AC. It was in the last few months, and our first electric bill was how much? 8,000 or
Yeah.
something. We
Now,
couldn't.
for those of you who are not aware, I've ever since we landed in the Philippines, no, literally, for some strange reason, it's in. I don't know why. Something told me once we land here, I start counting the meter. No, really, even in
No,
our
we did.
Airbnb,
We
I've
had to.
started counting the meter, and so I've always been a meter counter. So that's how I know nobody's stealing electricity. Nobody was stealing electricity from us.
But we can't see now because isn't our meter inside somebody's yard at this point?
No, yes, but odds are no.
So why was our electric bill so high when we were hardly using anything in the beginning? When we confronted the landlord.
That's different.
Oh, well, I said that.
The-
I was thinking people were using the electricity.
Yeah, that's before us.
Gotcha.
That doesn't count. I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it at the same time. The question, anyway. But anyway.
Well, I did say that in the live. I said,
No, I know that, but you can't. That's a different story. Before we were here, I can't count what was before.
I did say that in the live. Okay.
I know
That's what I was trying to
that, and
get
I
to it.
said that it's not that. Don't muddy the water. That just doesn't make sense.
Just please move on to the question so we can avoid.
Okay, you're the one who brought it up. I kind of anyway.
You didn't give me a chance to explain. I was going there and getting ready to get to it was used prior for the guy that was living here, and I said that in the last live stream, and I was going to explain all that and get around to it. Sorry. So, we stopped using an air fryer. And the reason being is we used it, and I probably used it 10 times that month, and the bill went up just as bad. So the air fryer that most of them, kind of like the hot water heater, is the biggest consumer. It's 6,500 watts. I think the air fryer does a couple thousand watts. And I was cooking items for 20 minutes at a time. When you're cooking most items or meat items, you're talking 20 minutes at a time. We were doing chicken, and I forgot what else we were doing in the air fryer. The bill went up also about 50 or $60. And I'm like, that's it. So I didn't think it would be that bad. And we didn't use it every day, several times a day, like, cooking French toast sticks or doing something because we thought it was better than microwave. I had never thought about it. But in the United States, I could cook as long as I want. I had an oven, and we were looking at, I mean, I don't know, even on a month where there was a house, a garage apartment, and different things that I was used to having, electric bill was 200, 240, and that was AC running in both places. That was washer, dryer, everything. Oh, forget about a dryer here. So you have to do, we are spinning out. So our internet is. All right, so we're back. Yeah, we're having a reception problem. So yeah, in the United States, and this caused a problem for me because in the beginning it seemed like such a con, like literally like a con, because I'm like, can't we used a washer dryer and had AC on at the Airbnb, and we found out if you don't check out your Airbnb, it'll say you are responsible for electricity. We did not know that when we arrived, and we were supposed to be there for like 2 weeks. And while we were there and looking for another place, we found that out, and we had turned on an AC unit that was old and oversized. What did you figure we were consuming a day? $20 a day or something? And we figured in the end we were going to owe them a lot of money
Oh, you're talking about the Airbnb?
when we used the dryer, and when we found that out.
That's Airbnb.
Yeah, I did say Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was consuming a lot of electricity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't expand on that because that's
That
a
was
long time ago. But I mean,
it was insane. So
but on average, we did use 32 before the split con. We used 32 watts a day,
yeah,
kilowatt hours,
yeah.
kilowatts a day.
All I know is the things you could run in the United States. When you try to run it here, you could be looking at, if you continue to use a washer, dryer, stove, an electric stove, AC your entire house. Now we're talking whether it's split cons or not, or a unit, and you run it all day like you would in your own house back in the United States. We would be looking at a $400 bill or more, probably even more. If we did our own laundry, washer, and dryer here, and run AC in every room of the house, we're talking $400 or more, probably way more than that. So it's just something, and a lot of people are like, it's an exaggeration. If you're trying to duplicate what you have in the West, it'll be very hard to do this lifestyle. So everything in me was fighting the system and fighting George until I started like, okay, this is what I can do now. Oh, I can deal with this, I can deal with that. And then George would do things to help. Like he would install where we had where we didn't have much water pressure when we moved in here. You installed the water pressure.
Yeah, the water pump.
Yeah. And there were other things that you did. So you have to adjust your life. Like, I always mention the air purifiers because there's all of these funky smells and there's all the dust in the air, and that'll help. It's just different things you have to adjust.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But before you install the air purifiers, install the water purifier first, because otherwise you'll have no drinking water.
That's another thing, is getting water or having your trash done. They just announced here in this area that in Fiesta communities, they're saying that they're in an uproar over there because they stopped collecting trash a while back. And that's part of, they've been selling those units forever, and it's supposed to be nice over there. And they've been going on about it, trying to get people to buy. And with the crash in the market and everything, they're getting these Filipinos in that are paying 20,000 pesos, in mortgage payments, and they stopped doing trash. Well, you guys seen me freak out about trash, and we've just got random people coming in here and doing trash, and all of a sudden our trash guy would stop. It takes a few days to get him. Trash builds up. There is no consistency, even in the good, subdivisions. It could happen. So it happened in another subdivision where they had issues with picking up trash. So there'll be a lot of different things, but it still all beats out me going home and dealing with what's going on.
Sounds like an HOA issue.
Yeah, that's what they're dealing with.
That means whoever's in charge of that HOA wasn't paying the garbage.
That happened to Mr. Fluffy. He said that over there in Bulacan,
Yeah,
they had a big issue where
irresponsibility on the HOA.
yeah, they keep the money and misuse it or whatever they
Correct.
do with the money, and then they don't pay the regular bills, which is, so you just have to decide. And, and nextly for me, the only other con would be medical. You could make an appointment here, they cancel the appointments, doctors don't show up. Some things are what I consider way too much to pay for, compared to, you know, if you need a bunch of testing, you got to watch out. They may just order the test like the United States where you're being overcharged. Sometimes it's easier to deal with medical where you can get individual stuff done, and you bargain and have these things done, and like, okay, well, I'll get blood work done today and let's see the results and go from there. But you could also be taken advantage from each individual appointment. But you know the there's a lot, guys. There's so much, but 100% there's more pros than cons. So you wake up.
Yeah, I'm analyzing.
Are you at the bottom already?
No, of course not, because there's a lot going on here. But yeah, Angelo says electric bill is around $200. Yeah, that's about right. During the summer, yeah, it gets really high during the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Richie Rich. I'm gonna go check and see what ours
Yeah,
was. It was
Richard says,
extremely
"Wow, I
high.
didn't know the air fryer used up much electricity. I
It
have one,
does.
but I seldom use it. I wouldn't even think to do it now. Good looking out. Yeah, no, it's really expensive, man. It's okay to use it once in a blue moon, but if you use it habitually,
I think we used it less than a dozen. If I had to even say 12 times during that month, and some of them weren't even that long, but usually you use it to do the French fries. That's
we
not a
use it
4 minute
for a
cooking.
week, and it drastically increased our electric bill.
Yeah, here it is. And by the way, just so you guys know, if you go in the About Us, there is a list of links for things, and we do have a link that says Our Home. These are legit products we've been using for over 2 years, and we get, I don't know, 3% commission on them, which helps, with different things going on. And it does show things like our air purifier. I went through them and like researched them. We've tried a few different ones, had to return a few. If them items are listed, we own them and use them and approve of them. These just aren't random. Like you'll see these vloggers now that have 20, 30 items listed in there. You know, iPostal and a bunch of these other insurance companies and all that they probably don't even use. They'll claim they do, but they don't. No, these are our products. So we've in the past put things up, but this is, things that we really believe in. I'm trying to see now what the. All right. So according to this, it was 1800 watts. It must have added up. It had to add up. It's 1800-watt air fryer. So it did add up. So I guess 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, added up really quick. So that's why I really watch things like I didn't realize our hot water heater was that high, but it is, but we don't put it on the fullest amount. This we were usually putting on high because we were cooking chicken or we were cooking a meat product. I forgot what we were baking. I think we baked a small cake in there one time. I can't remember. There was something we kept putting in there and trying over and over again. I think we did a cheesecake in there one time, so it did not take long. Late night with the gaming.
no. But
Oh, okay.
Patriot for Life says Niagara Falls nature generator. Yes. He's talking about waterfalls. Leonard Marlin says we use clothesline to dry. Best way, cheapest way to do it here in the Philippines. We do not use a hot water heater for showers bills. Still, for 4,300 to 4,500 pesos a month. That's about the average, correct?
Yeah, see, we were using a hot water heater till recently, and the water is literally coming out lukewarm. So I'm just going to go with that right now.
Yeah, Denver says it's all about perspective. I think
Oh, snap.
it's all about relative, I guess, the better word. In Bahamas, $500 electric bill is common. I smile when I hear flowers. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Leonard Marlin says we don't pay for trash pickup on Samar Island.
Ah.
Well, I'm sure it depends on the area. We buy bottled water, 5 gallons each, 30. That's about right. 30 gallons to 35 to 25 pesos each. Correct. 4 or 5 gallons. Correct. That's about right.
In the home products, our home products, that's through Lazada. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank
Appreciate you so
you.
much.
Appreciate you. We use and we started right away when we moved here because if we had to rely on them to deliver bottled water for drinking, washing dishes, doing those type of things, it was almost an impossible. That's him. Yeah, go ahead and hey Monty, are
Hey,
you still
Monty,
in
how are
the
you doing?
house? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Monty Crew. We've been following Monty Crew for quite some time. He's part of the Dumagetti group. There's only a handful of people over there we really follow, including Paul. We've religiously followed Paul and Baby May. We've gotten slack for it, but really don't care. I mean, it's who we actually like, entertaining, a lot of information. Paul, Old Dog, and Sunshine Shoulders are some of the original people besides Brian. Those are the top, and Geo. Those are the top channels we always
Hey,
watched
Gio.
before we came over. And Monty
Hey,
is
Brian.
another one. He's one of the people that we've looked.
Monty.
Yeah. So hope you're doing well and hope you had a good Easter and you have
Hey,
a
Calvin.
beautiful family. let's see, where was I at? I kind of got sidetracked.
Leonard Martin says drinking water is about $15 a month.
Oh, the water. We have, that's what I was saying. Sorry. We
We
use
have water filters,
we use
triple
it
chamber.
correct. So I've listed that also, the Westinghouse. So basically
Get
we
a water
repl-
filtration system.
it's like $9, $8 for the replacement filters, and that's every 2 months. And we don't have to wait for the deliveries and lug around, and it just goes directly into the sink. So it's really been a blessing. And I think the original setup was $30 or $40. So it's really worth
Yeah,
it.
no, it's
So
definitely worth it.
we even list our refrigerator that we use that was under 300. Haven't listed the deep freezer, so it's more of a things that we've tried. And are you awake now? Because really, you starting to. Oh no,
There's Calvin.
Calvin is problems up on the counter licking the butter. I caught George and Calvin licking at the butter on the counter yesterday. It's crazy. I'm serious about that. These kittens can clear the counter, and they're 3 months old. Look how long he is. And they even the little one that's the runt actually clears. How high are the countertops? Or can you even see over them?
I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, George and the cats can get up on the counter and lick the butter. And it's bad business. They got the beans yesterday too before we put them away. We had baked beans yesterday and chicken patties, and I don't know, but they like the baked beans too. The other cats won't touch it, but these kittens will eat anything. George will eat anything.
Yeah. Leonard Marlin also says we use propane for cooking, $20 a month. Now the propane thing is kind of like a catch-22, and what I mean by that is, you have the option of whether you use electricity or propane,
Mhm.
but they come about cost-wise. In the end, they come about equal. We have both only because, again, just in case the electricity.
Or what are we going to? I mean, that gas out there's got to be getting old. Or is there a way to empty that out? Or are we supposed to let them defuse that and add new stuff? Because that's got to be over a
I
year old right now. Does
checked that out.
propane?
They said no, it doesn't go back.
Okay, so we're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But-
that's all cleaned up out there. So, no, here's the thing. Everything I used to do in the United States would cost. I used to bake all the time. I don't deep fry stuff. I would bake things like baked macaroni and cheese. I would bake ribs. If I spent 2, 3, 4 hours in a gas oven, we'd pay out the ass to cook right now. In other words, things that I used to do baked eggs that had Parmesan cheese and a
That's
sauce
really
with
good,
it.
guys.
And I did that sometimes 3 times a
That's
week.
really good.
And it's just I always bake. I'm a baker. Hello, you know. And it's what I did. But if I do that here, I thought about it. The electricity or gas would
Heidi's
be.
German, Hansel and Gretel and all that.
You're no Hans. You're not even Napoleon
What the freak? That doesn't even make any sense.
because I'm
but
part
okay.
French. I
Oh,
forgot the
okay.
French side.
Yeah.
Or Napoleon. Anyway, so it just costs. And that's the one thing I bitched about. Is just like it was everything. I was like, George, I thought it was going to be cheaper. I didn't realize it was going to be this hot. I didn't realize it would take forever to get an appointment. I didn't realize the traffic would be bad. Here's the thing. This bitch is going to bitch. The other guys are sucking it up. All those channels you're getting your dating advice from. I hear them here lately, but we're in the day and age the last year that guys are just saying anything, doing anything, spending more money to do whatever with their channels. And I've been pretty consistent about bitching. Right, George? True story.
I second that.
I don't know if I'm allergic to you, the cats, or this damn wig.
Probably me. Leonard
It
Marlin
is.
says do not use air fryer or microwave.
Now we do. Weirdly, the microwave has all those watts, but we only use it for what, 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
doesn't
really
get long enough. Correct.
but the air fryer, watch out for doing the chicken wings that need to be, if they're frozen, thawed, or whatever. If you're at a 20-minute mark on the air fryer or 30 minutes because you're making your little cake that you thought would work, Oh man, I'm tired of these experiments, man.
Fine Eddie says, how much is propane there? Leonard Marlin says it's 1,200 pesos per tank. That's
Or more. Give or
that's
take.
about current price. Correct.
Yes, 12.
That's about current price.
George is finishing up a book by the end of the month that's dealing with the basics of moving here, how much it's going to be a tip book,
How to wank a wanker.
something like that. But he's going to put together his Filipino experience, all the stuff that everybody's been saying, all the stuff that he's learned, all the bitching that I've been doing, and he's all got it concentrated in a book from airport to total retirement that should have everything, areas to live, what he thinks, and he's added a total. I mean, we've looked at a lot of books and these other expats that have thrown books out there, and we're like, you can do better than that, George. And he's like, well, yeah, it's because, we born and raised here. And then just from people's mistakes is mostly what you're like, why did they do that? You
Yeah.
know? And so there'll be different things in there, and he's finishing that up. And for sure, things like that are actually in
it's
the
a
book.
series of books, how to pin
You
a
know.
Pinoy, that kind of deal. How to get a girl, that kind of deal.
How to be punched and motorboated at the same time in the morning.
There you go.
Gigi, are you awake now?
Huh?
I've been watching you like. But we were both up at like 1:30, and I'm like, we've got to go back to sleep. We're 1:30, almost 2 o'clock, and George thought he would eat his meat this morning, and then I ate his meat.
Sarah Tyson says, do they have prices for peak times as in morning, noon, dinner?
I don't know. Do you think it changes?
I think they do. I think
very
they do.
interesting.
It's kind of like in the U.S. Yeah.
Linda, that should be a new one. She's saying hi to Monty. Hey,
Linda
Monty.
says, hey, Monty, how are you?
And he's coming through on Facebook, by the way. So
Laura
go over and
says
say hi to him.
Monty is a nice man.
No,
There
he
you
is. He's got a great family, and
Pine Eddie says, is that like U.S. 5-gallon tank? Yes. They're U.S. 5-gallon tanks. Yes. Like the spot says, Calvin. She's talking about the cat.
yeah, it's all sleep time.
Larry says yes. Like a spot says, oh my God, they're getting bigger. Yes, she's talking about the cats.
3
The cats
months.
are getting bigger. Yes. Richard Broad says, yeah, there's Calvin right there. I follow Sons and Shoulders. Yes, that's where we named our cat. Sons and Shoulders, Calvin. Paul and Geo as well. Yes, we have one of the cats, Geo. He's somewhere out here. Paul, well, we have a mug. But anyway,
yeah, 4 of them are kittens right now.
Yes.
So a lot of people are like, oh, dang, you got 8 cats. 4 of them are tiny kittens, guys. And really, with the upstairs, George has his office. We have a cat room and a full balcony upstairs. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 levels. They mostly stay upstairs watching cat TV, and then they're in different parts of the house. It's really surprising We'll look around and we're like, all these cats, where are they at? Because, they're kind of relaxing to have around, and only 1 or 2 of them hang down here. Maybe it's the AC that they don't like. But no, pretty much they're, but it's where it's at. And then, of course, we take care of a bunch of little ones outside that's been out there feeding. So,
yeah, I think all those channels have a lot to offer for people planning to come to the Philippines. Martin says, I keep 2 tanks. He's talking about LPG, propane and propane accessories. So I don't have to wait for delivery to finish a meal. I always recommend 2 tanks because sometimes you run out. You know what I'm saying? So always good to have 2 tanks. So using oven costs much more. How much does the microwave cost per month?
It's hard to determine because there are some times, like right now, we're not only dealing with the electricity, where we're double paying this month, and we're probably going. My guess is we're waiting 2 weeks to see a refund on that money.
Yeah.
And the other issue we're dealing with is we're getting small. I called it a surge the other day. The electric goes down for 10 minutes and then comes back. It'll go down for 5 minutes. It comes back. And it's done it probably about 10 times this month. It does it very short intervals. When it did it the last time, or about 3 times ago, because I told you guys about it, We
well,
had some sort of surge or something happen and the breakers all tripped. When we did, there's nothing left on an outlet where it's, what do they call that? It's interconnected. One's on the outside in the dirty kitchen, there are plugs and they must be back to back. I guess that's how they do it when they set it up through the concrete walls. And those plugs don't work. So we have no electric to the dirty kitchen, and the right side of the wall in our kitchen, the
two outlets basically don't have electricity.
right. And so the landlord came surprisingly in I call him landlord. He collects the rent. He's the maintenance guy, collector of rent. The other guy lives out of state. He's a doctor or something. He lives in California that owns
The landowner, yes.
yes. And he came over, they assessed the problem, and I was telling you guys about it. And they just pretty much looked at it. They didn't check the breakers, they didn't plug anything in, they didn't test the line, they didn't do nothing. Their answer at 7:30 at night was, "Can I work on this on another day? It's getting late." And I'm like, "Okay." And he hasn't been back. It's been a week. So
Now, they didn't check the breaker. It's because they already knew.
I needed a little fingering or something. I needed someone to go,
No,
I needed somebody to touch it.
That's my point.
I needed some theatrics.
They didn't do any of that because they already knew the problem. It's a pre-existing problem with the current wiring of the building.
So okay. So no theatrics.
Therefore, it's kind of like, yeah, we know.
Well,
I'm just letting you guys know if there's wiring issues in a building and wires burn in a building, odds are the people who are in charge of it already know what the story is. It doesn't take a freaking genius to figure that out. And that's why they didn't do any of those testing things. What Heidi's saying is they didn't test the breakers, they didn't test anything. And that's why I'm saying they didn't test anything because they already knew what was the issue.
gotcha. So don't you think adding a line, there is no outlets in the bathroom, by the way.
They're
So
gonna add like an external wiring in all probability.
and put another fuse in the breaker.
Because that's the cheap way to do it.
Right, but they're going to put another fuse, or there's a spot there. Don't you think that's going to overload with 6,500 watts? He said, "Oh, there's a blank spot here. Yes, I can add an electrical line in there, but don't you think adding that will just trip the box anyways because it's bad wiring?"
No, yes and no. It's not so much as bad wiring, it's a bad wires. Yes. The wires are of not enough gauge, correct. Anyway,
yeah,
different story.
All right, so yeah, so we don't know when. I meant to message him. It's been a week, so I'm kind of, a week is patient enough. You have to have a ton of patience here. In the United States, I'd have expected it to have been fixed within the day from a landlord. So it's, or 2 days or 3. That'd have been an average, but it's been a week and he never even, no contact back.
Denver says, "Are there any good Facebook groups about migrating to the Philippines to join? That's not dominated by men looking for women or bitter expats brag on place."
Pretty much not. No. Unfortunately,
I do not recommend any social media forums ever
as your resources.
Not us,
not other channels.
If you think YouTube is plagued with trolls,
all
those are bombarded with trolls.
And those that, like the ones that are running it, you'll actually find, even the biggest ones with big numbers, you'll find that they'll come in and they create fake accounts just to create a fake story, just to get people to fight with each other.
The worst
advice.
The worst advice ever. I'm even like, why would anybody say that? They can go to jail for that.
And we think it's intentional. I mean, people should be aware, and I hate to bust bubbles, that most of those sites like Instagram, Facebook, and X now they call it, have for a few
Twitter.
years, they create fake accounts through them, the company itself. Most of the accounts out there are fake, being run by AI. So any post by It'll be a real photo of somebody, and they'll create these accounts. They'll create the post, photos, everything added to it, and most of those accounts aren't real. It's to keep it going. It's kind of like when people get the bots in their live streams or bots in their channels that go through and it looks like activity. It's to propel the channel or their channel or whatever. It's happening on Facebook. And you know what I found lately, and no offense to Filipinos, when you will see these expat forums. Now, this wasn't so, say, what, 2, 3 years ago when we were looking into them. There was a lot of it going on, but now it's just so unreliable. Most of it is Filipinos posting. It's not about even a business anymore. You'll see them doing TikToks. You'll see them. So it's flooded with just Filipinos putting stuff on it. So people are just putting content, whatever it's about. You'll see them from Germany. You'll see them from Africa. It's like, why did this make it to the expat forum? Now, here's the thing. When we used to post expat help videos to help people, or I left a comment, I was attacked every time. Oh, you're just an American female. I was attacked every single time. And every time me and George post one of our, when
Unless
we
you're a
did,
Filipino escort, you are have 1,000% clearance to post on expat forums.
pretty much.
I'm not making that up.
If it's a massage
If
person,
you are
they
a
they don't
Filipina
have a
escort
problem.
or a male escort, even
So that's just where it is.
they
That's
have
not being
1,000% clearance to
So
post on those
honestly, you
forums.
might be able to. I think there was one from Europe and one that said they were Hawaiian that were expat Filipino that gave some, but very rare was there. Not anymore, guys. You can't trust AI out there anymore. You
Oh no,
can't
yeah,
trust.
lies. Period.
I was really shocked when I found out a year ago that quite a bit of it, and it's not a conspiracy theory, it's real. Most of the accounts are fake. Most of them that you're interacting with, they put a
Bot
bot or
accounts.
they hire call centers
The
to
internet is
actually
dead,
interact
people.
with you on that. So no, it's dead internet. And so
Okay, for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about,
and
when I say dead internet theory, it means most of the things you see online are bots. No, and I'm not making that up. I'm not exaggerating either. And it's not a conspiracy theory. Most of them are bots.
let me see before I do this. Make sure we have.
Is solar tech not really feasible in the Philippines? Too expensive or storms maybe? Meralco is a rip. It's not that it's not feasible. The problem with solar is one, space. For obviously, even in the US, if you the solar system require a lot of space. Two, of course, it costs a lot of money. It's not the solar panels that cost money, it's the battery systems that cost money. And can you buy
So-
cheap batteries? Yes, but you shouldn't cheap out or chintz out rather on batteries because the batteries are the lifeblood of a solar system, meaning, and also that's where the safety issue comes in. You know, those cars that all of a sudden explode, that kind of deal. It's because they're cheap
Well,
batteries. Point being, do not skimp on the batteries.
well, here's the deal. The average payment or cost is 10 years. So you take it times 10 versus
It's an
7,
investment.
8,000. Yeah, it's an investment. And that would put you into staying whatever unit and you actually technically have to own. So even if we could, that would ensure that I would have to stay here for 10 years. And I don't know I want to stay here for 10 years. I mean, we've already been here almost 3 years. So I mean, I'm okay with that, but we don't have the cash to pay for that. We've already said that we're very, very everyday person. We've already blown through our savings. We are here on several sources of income, so we try to make it as safe as possible. But we could not invest. I'd have to check to see what solar costs. But I know that the people that have, they're into payments, including big vloggers. They're making payments on their solar. The ones on the island, Surgal, they're in a 10-year payment situation, and they've got a good channel, and they seem to have money. They bought a car. They travel back and forth to the UK. So they've got way 10 times more money than we've got the way they go on, and they still put it in payment. And it's 10 years to pay it off. And I guarantee they're going to need something like that box replaced or other things. So for the amount we should be able to, for the amount of our electricity, we could be probably paying 9,000 pesos a month. But we don't want to attach it to here, and I'm not going to buy a house. Just we could probably even that's mom looking for her kids. I thought it was her in heat, but she's calling for the kids to wake them up to come nurse, and she's still nursing these monsters. Go on, your mom's calling you.
There goes
There
Calvin.
goes Calvin.
Yeah.
What, Calvin? Your mom's calling you. Why'd you go to the backside? So it's been a thought, but if we do, then
Well,
and
even if we wanted to, again, we have a spacious view here.
you got enough room on this couch.
Yes. Leonard Marlin says we get brownouts 2 times a week from 5 minutes to 5 hours. I turn on a generator that runs everything in our house if electricity is out for over 30 minutes. There you go. Good idea.
Do you want me to
Yes, KFC caramel chicken. Yes.
Yeah.
Kay Dallas. Good morning, Kay Dallas.
Good morning.
Leonard Marlin says I'm putting up solar panels this year. That's a good idea. Jen says, Heidi, can you explain how Amazon works? Does it come right to you? Is there a fee to send from the US to the Philippines? Thanks.
Jen, when people that have sent us gifts from Amazon, and if you go to the About Us, if you already have that link, there's a list of different things in there, and there's an Amazon link where we have like a wish list. You guys don't have to choose from that. We've chose really expensive items, inexpensive items, and then some people just send the items that they want. Now there are items, if you choose them, that if it's under a certain amount, or I think it starts at $50, if you buy a certain amount, then there is free shipping to the Philippines. Last we knew, they were still doing some. They didn't always do that. So there is free shipping items based on that. Also, for those that have sent us nice gifts, really nice gifts, anything over 10,000 pesos, some of that starts to be taxed and the shipping goes up. So you would have to check into how much people are, sending it, because we've received, electronics that are dealing with camera equipment and stuff that has been over that. And then they just, already know that it's going to be there. So that would be how Amazon works. So
Yeah.
if you already have the account, there are plenty of items that are free shipping. So people tend to put a few items in the box, and then Amazon fills it from their warehouse. Usually if it's the direct Amazon item that's offering the shipping, and then they come over versus people sending the Billy buy-in box. So yeah. So there's a whole wish list thing, anything from we've put everything because people have asked about it, and we just put, some of the items are out there in price, but if we don't ask, we've had a lot of people ask. And so, from crazy to simple. So,
and again, speaking of crazy, if you go further down, you'll find a marriage registry. Because I'll be marrying my virtual girlfriend this year around July. Yes,
I believe that.
I will be marrying that thought. I'll be having a virtual thought marriage.
I believe that, George. Somehow I really believe that deeply and truly, that there'd be no doubt in my mind that you're one of them dirty baskets, okay, that have one of those that they've been showing on Facebook and advertising. Oh, would you like me to touch myself there? Oh, would you like me to pop and lock for you, sir?
Pop
Would
and
you
lock?
like me to
What the freak?
tweak?
What kind of girl pops and locks?
Would you like me to tweak this and weten that? Answer the question. Look me in the eyes. Are you using any of those? George, are you using any of those currently? Yes or no?
Yes, of course, all the time.
No, look at me in the eyes.
No, of course not.
You looked away. Swear on your mother.
No, of course not. I swear on my mother. Jeez, many crickets, woman. You're weird.
Not really.
That was a joke.
I have an AI assistant that I do talk to about George, and he said we need therapy. I was showing George how Jim and I were paying for the upper version, the one we use today. And I was like, my husband locks me up in the house and he doesn't feed me, and he makes me does his laundry, and he says, sounds like you need therapy. And George says, what? I was just messing with it, but it was funny. It was hilarious. You don't find that funny? It was funny when he said, you guys need help. But it's very typical AI. Just like they said that George doesn't appear on the channel. I'm like, damn, are they trying to call us out or what? And it's like 1,200 videos, and he's probably appeared. If I had to remove you from videos you don't appear on that I've done expat help, it's probably what, 40
Now,
videos, 50 maybe?
depending on the
Out of
AI you
1,200?
use, some are more realistic than others, and some you'd swear it's a person.
Who's Richard?
I'm just saying. So
Philippine Antics is done by a British expat named Richard. I'm like, who the hell is Richard, man?
yeah, Richard, if you're watching this, let us know who you are. Lost in the
That's
Philippines
who
says,
fills in when you're not here.
hey, Heidi and George.
What's
Hey,
up?
Lost in the Philippines. Leonard Martin says, if I was renting, I wouldn't buy solar panels. We own our house, so it's worth it. Well, that's
Yeah.
another thing too. But like I said, it's more of an issue of, I mean, if you're renting and if you have land, that's fine. You could still, uninstall, but we have a space issue, obviously. Pinedy says depends on what amp service your main is on.
I'm wondering that because something tells me if they add another thing that runs the hot water heater like it's supposed to properly be run, it's going to blow that whole thing, is it not?
No.
No. So even if he runs it off of that breaker, doesn't breakers have a minimal on? It's
Okay. Okay. There's a total limit of what amperage the entire household use. Yes,
Right.
that is correct.
Okay.
However, that has nothing to do with the breakers. The breakers only control that particular line.
So you're saying the amp thing that he puts in has to be more than 6,500.
It has to be, well, it has to be not more. It has to be the appropriate for that, what they deem for that device is going to be plugged in. For example, if it's an AC unit, what the max is for that AC unit.
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
just
deal.
said that. The hot water heater is 65. I'm not asking about something else.
Right. And well, I'm being actually accurate with my
Well, I'm trying to
answers.
get an answer in case you're not here,
But
you're never here
what I'm saying is,
or
that
asleep.
point being is, if the electrician know what they're doing, they shouldn't be an issue because we shouldn't max out the entire amperage for the circuit, the main circuit outside. We should never overuse it. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, for example, what I'm saying is if we had 3 AC units and a water heater, then yes. But we don't.
All right, so you're saying it'll be more than fine, and
Yes. So let's say if we have an oven and 2 AC units and a water heater, then yes, there's a chance we would go over the limit. But
we usually don't use all
don't.
the above anyway.
Right, that's my point. There is
Okay.
no right. And so
I just want to make
Yeah.
sure because I just beckoned for him again, and I was here 1 second here.
Yeah. Jen says, okay, thank you so much. I'm going to Germany in a couple of weeks, see my family, but when we get back, I'll start getting things ready. Oh, thank you so much, Jen, and hope you have a wonderful time with your family.
Thank
and
you
have a
so
safe flight.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Linda
Yeah, let us
Catalano,
know.
July birthday here too. All right, Linda.
Everybody is in July except for Willie just had a birthday this month. So Willie was the dog that we
She's talking
got.
about the pets.
Yeah. So we have me and George's birthday. My grandson's birthday is in July. Our son's birthday is in
My
July.
uncle's in July.
His uncle is in July. Then we have the 4th of July. And I'm thinking there was somebody else. I'm missing
4th
somebody.
of July, they already have fireworks now.
Right? And so I'm missing somebody else. Like 2 of the pets have a birthday. So usually that's our most expensive, most spending month ever. And I tell you what, the support of the channel and the people that watch are really outstanding. There's entire outings during the month of July that are paid for by people, where they've given support, which is so much appreciated. We get a lot of love in our birthday month. We have for the last couple years, our regular followers. And I don't know. I try to get George. George is very quiet on things to do for the most part. And if I say, well, why don't you choose? If I wait for George, we're just going to be sitting in the swimming pool with hot dogs outside, literally, probably his hot dog at Never mind. I better leave this all out there. Me in the pool and his hot dog in my hand. I don't know, but it would just be chilling out there. But I don't know. I'm thinking Alongapo, but yes, birthdays are coming. So
Hey, Pine Andy,
thank
you so much. I
you.
appreciate your support. How do we know we're not watching it right now? You two are sawing logs in the bedroom. We are not AI. I guarantee it. As you can see, we are actually acting normal here. Welcome to the Philippine Antics channel.
Shut the. What? Shut the. I feel for you. I think I love you. I feel for you. I think I love you. Can I slap you now? There you go. I'm gonna have to take my butt down to Walking Street just to pay for this freaking electric bill. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I am not happy about this electric bill because we got screwed up the yingus without oil, mayo,
Wait.
or anything.
Did you even tell him what happened?
We did earlier. Where you been? I talked about that we get. Babe, are you awake? This is what I mean. Us getting up at 2 a.m. to have meat.
No, did you show him today? Not last time.
No, I told him today what happened. That we manually have to go in and pay the bill. We're looking at 2 weeks to get the other money back. I haven't confronted the manager. Do you have that much money on your salary to repay back? You don't. And I get it's, they're just employees, but why they won't drop that in cash? So I'm going to have to either send you or me down to Walking Street. Who do you think's going to make more money? Let us know, guys. Is George going to be the one that would make more money down on Walking Street as a freelancer, or would it be me as a big, heavyset white American woman? They probably want me to whoop them or something.
Probably. You should probably show up in person.
So, me wearing this wig and this eyeshadow, who's going to make more money? I'm sure I'll be the oddity person down there. So,
right.
I'd be like, hello. I guess we can go down there. We can busk. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side? You don't know that song?
Of course.
I mean, come on.
Jen says I'm on the first of July. My celebration goes past the 4th.
We do an entire month only because of everybody's birthday, and literally we do more live streams and just have fun and do a lot more stuff. I got to start saving my energy now.
Linda Carolino says congratulations on 22,000 subscribers. Thanks so much, Linda. Thank you so much. Yes,
thank you so
22K.
much.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate your subscription and thank you for your support. Appreciate you guys.
This is what they call a real organic channel. I am not believing one bit. I'm gonna talk smack about the other channels. Is unfortunately, you can tell the organically grown ones that stay at a certain number. When channels jump to 70 and 80 and 90,000 in very short periods of time, then they're on the outside skirt of it's not organic. So realistically, you can tell these are hard-earned numbers. So unless we bring up some total drama, keeping 80, 90 people in the room is our goal. We just appreciate people coming in and saying hey and everything. So, but 22,000 is very organic. But thank you.
Leonard Marlin says we had to put in a new circuit breaker box when we put in our meter put along with the generator. Yes. I believe you're talking about a hardwired generator. Yes, you are. Well, you're not required to have in a breaker box, but you should put in a breaker box when you put a hardwired generator. W says hi from New York. You have great cats. The gray one you showed last night is a nice looking cat.
Thank you.
Leonard Martin says prior to that he's
the most trouble.
Just watched. what we were using at the time, the wife would not use her hair dryer while I was using the shower. Yes, it's not really smart using the hair dryer while using the shower.
Especially not your
I'm joking.
spouse.
I'm joking.
Too much temptation. Right, George?
hmm
George.
Jen says, "Do
And
you
we
use power
still-
stations like Blue Eddy?" I wish we did.
There for us to spend 1,000, we've thought about it. Even the ones that run for a few hours is about 600 US. I did try to look for some of them to put on Amazon for people to be able to purchase to help, in general. But a lot of it is 110. That's the problem with the electronics that we don't add to the basket. If they send us electronics, it's got to be where it's the 220, 240. And the Blue Eddy is here, but I think they range for the ones that are really a necessity to last 6-8 hours on some basic stuff is probably what 600 to up to $2,000-3,000. So maybe in the future, it's definitely a consideration. So
Yeah.
no, that would be great. And we do currently have at about $100 each. We bought a couple months ago. We have one that will last. It lasts 7 hours. It run the internet. It runs one USB fan, and it keeps the phones and tablet and basic items charged for about 7 hours for about $100. So again, I think that's also listed on our home items. It's anywhere between, I think they range. So, and it could be on sale right now. So when we bought ours, was probably about 6 months ago, was about $100. They could be around 60 or 70, but yeah. And it actually has where you can plug in items. So it's got like 2 USB ports and a thing to plug in. And it's got a solar panel. So we have the solar panel hooked up upstairs. But to charge it could take 12 hours in the sun. You'd literally have to do it from morning to night. So having a USB when it starts to dwindle down and you have it plugged in, it never catches up. So I guess it's for people that live way out in the province. They charge it throughout the day to plug in to charge up their phones and stuff and run tablets. So it still works.
Yeah. Kate says, to make more money, put George in a dress.
All right, there it is.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Me or George are going to make the money on walking street, or maybe just out and about? We just go out and busk and stuff. We can sing.
Right. Like a spot says, Heidi will earn a higher rate for being exotic, but George will easily make quick bucks, but only while wearing the wig.
So
there you go.
So yeah, so basically the lady boy setup or something. You're
Yeah.
prettier. Yeah.
I agree. George needs to be undressed too. Yeah, if you don't mind having Deuce Bigelow in a dress standing in between Phillies and Club Envy in
Right.
Angeles City, Walking Street.
George be like, let's
yes.
go. Do it, George. Do your let's go.
All right, dude.
And we've joked about that the last few years, and I said they probably prefer you in a dress.
As a first name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Leonard Marlin says you can both go make it a family affair, and take the cats too. There you go.
That's probably true.
Can never have too much pussy. Cats.
Just the 10 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 10 of us.
Right.
Just you and I. I was going down to Walking Street because the electric company screwed me, and I don't know what to do. Just the 10 of us.
Right.
We can make it if. And I'm not really trying to sing. I'm just screwing around. Just the 10 of us. You and I.
Jen says, thank you for answering all my questions. You guys are the best. Thanks so much, Jen. Thank you. Latka Grava says, hi guys. Hey Latka, how you doing?
Hey guys. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. We got to go pay the electric bill and go do our things.
Thank
and
you
thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Never mind. Appreciate your support. Marion Haber, thanks for your support. Appreciate you.
Thank
Scott in the world,
you,
let's see, one of our
Scott.
mediators.
Ted.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ted. Thank you so much, Victoria, and thank you so much, Sarah. Linda Colano as well. Thank you. I appreciate your support very
Just the
much.
10
And
of
Pinetti,
us.
thanks so much for
Hey,
your
that
support.
might be a good song.
What's that?
Just the 10 of us.
Right?
Just the 10 of us.
Yeah.
We make it.
Slick Rick,
with
see you later. Angela says
Thank you.
bye. Laura
And-
says have a good night. Have a good night too, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Victor C says thank you for live streaming. Thank you so much for being here, Victor.
David and Leonard and
Like a
Angelo.
spot says thanks, guys. Have a wonderful
Lou
week
is
ahead.
in the house.
Thank you so much, Harry Walsh. Night all, says Harry. Like a spot
Pinetti,
says
Victor.
love the intro music, by the way. Thank you so much. Like a spot, thank you. Appreciate your
Like I
support.
said, you guys will see now at the bottom, it actually says featured. So they've officially made us a artist channel. So that's
We are official.
yeah. So yep.
Yes.
All right.
Official music.
Thank you guys. Good night, and see you guys in a
Thank you,
few days or
guys.
sooner if something comes up.
See you soon.
See you guys soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Love you all.
guys.
Bye. Bye, Pinetti.